Today, we're going to talk about the final, tragic days of a true global superstar, Whitney Houston. It's a really tough story about unbelievable talent, but also about the crushing weight of fame, and a voice that, honestly, the world will never, ever forget. And you know what? That's not just hyperbole. Her voice was an absolute force of nature. I mean, it was the soundtrack for a whole generation. And that fact, that incredible talent, is exactly what makes the end of her story so incredibly heartbreaking. It really sets the stage for everything that was about to happen. Because behind that larger-than-life voice and all those sold-out arenas, there was a very real, very human struggle going on. The spotlight that made her a global icon also cast a very, very long and dark shadow. To really get what was happening, you have to understand this contrast, this split. I mean, can you imagine living this kind of double life? On one side, you've got the legend the world saw and demanded, that powerful, just effortless voice, the constant applause, all the glory. But the reality, especially near the end, was a whole different story. It was a painful, private battle with a voice that was getting weaker, this deep exhaustion, and all the emotional turmoil that came with substance dependence. So let's set the scene. It's early 2012, and she is right on the verge of a huge career comeback. I mean, she was actively working, getting ready to take back her spot on the world stage. But the pressure? Wow. The pressure was just immense. And the people closest to her, they could see what it was doing to her. The stress, the fatigue, it was getting really hard to hide. And all of this, the pressure, the exhaustion, the comeback, it all came to a head on one single day, Saturday, February 11th, 2012. And the setting for these final, tragic hours was the Beverly Hilton Hotel in Los Angeles. Now, this was right in the middle of the music industry's biggest event of the year, Grammy weekend. The irony of it all is just devastating. So let's walk through that day. During pre-Grammy rehearsals that morning, people who saw her said she seemed anxious, kind of overwhelmed, and just physically wiped out. She was trying so hard to push through, but her body was just done. By the afternoon, she went back to her hotel room, probably just to get a moment of quiet. And it was there, later that afternoon, that she slipped into unconsciousness, completely and totally alone. So what officially happened? Well, the coroner's report made it clear that it wasn't just one thing. It was this devastating perfect storm of factors. She had underlying heart disease, there was the incredible physical strain from her entire career, and then the presence of drugs in her system. It was the tragic end to a long, painful battle she'd been fighting behind closed doors. Of course, news like this couldn't stay inside that hotel room. In what felt like an instant, this private tragedy exploded into a moment of public, worldwide mourning. It's honestly hard to even describe the shockwave that went through the world. The news just spread like wildfire everywhere. Social media, TV, you name it. For millions of people, it felt personal, like they'd lost a piece of their own life soundtrack. People were just heartbroken for the woman whose voice had been there for them through everything. And the public reaction was just immediate and massive. All of a sudden, spontaneous vigils were popping up in New York. Huge memorials started growing outside the Beverly Hilton in LA. You had tributes and gatherings as far away as London. I mean, all over the planet, fans were getting together, lighting candles, and just playing her songs, sharing their grief with each other. But beyond the awful tragedy of her last days and all the worldwide grief, it is so important to remember the incredible legacy she left behind. And it's a legacy that's so much bigger than just her voice. First and foremost, she was a person, right? A daughter, a mother to Bobby Christina, a friend to so many. But professionally, she was a true trailblazer, one of the very first Black women to have massive crossover success in both music and movies. And her influence, the number of artists who came after her that she inspired is just impossible to count. When you really look at it, her story has these two profound sides. Her final days are a stark reminder, a cautionary tale really, about the hidden and often brutal cost of fame. But her life and that incredible gift she gave us in her music will always be this powerful reminder of the pure beauty she shared with all of us. And that leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? In a world that loves to put celebrities up on these pedestals, what really is the hidden cost of all that fame? And what part do we all play in demanding it?